It's about that time, baby, baby. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Here we go.
The Sinclair Show is on.
It's on.
Run it to your friends. Come on.
Come on.
It's the moment of the show tonight. Mailbag is time. Sinclair is on the mic.
Once again, it's on. You still trouble in your home. Got you tripping, don't know right from wrong. Send your letters to the show so we can talk you through. Get the answers to your questions because we speak that truth. Sometimes you doubt yourself, lost your health. Faith is on the fence, but you believe that Jesus knows your well. Keep it moving, spirit flowing because we're here to provide someone to lean on when you're falling Wednesday 8 and 9. And it's on. Once again, it's on. You're listening to the only morning show at night, people. That's right. We do it right here. We do it big on the Sinclair Show, coming to you live and direct. That's right. We do it for the people. That's why we're up here all hours of the day and night. Sometimes we just popping on. But first, I want to thank all of you all who continue to send your mailbag questions and comments to sinclairtalk@outlook.com. We're going to continue to address as many things as possible each night that we on the air to reach you, the valued listener. And why are you the valued listener? You the valued listener because there would be no reason for old Cindy Sin to be on chit-chatting with you all, Joe and Jane public, if y'all wasn't up here with me every week. Y'all been up here for 7 years with a brother. 7 years is a long time. I know folks' relationships can't last 7 years. So I'm just saying, that long, can't do nothing but have love and respect for y'all. Even the haters. Haters been on for 7 years. Them some good haters. Sometimes you got to keep some haters in your life because it will help you to excel. Let me say it again, because that might have went over some of y'all heads. I'm trying to make sure this mic don't come off while I'm sitting up here playing, talking crazy. I said sometimes, every now and again, you got to keep some haters on your squad. Because by keeping haters on your squad, it helps you to excel. Matter of fact, who the first person on here tonight? Let me go and give her props. Gwendolyn, Lady Elegance Pritchard, hot off the press tonight. She the first one on, coming to y'all from Huntsville, Alabama. Now I'm going to tell y'all why that's important. Because Lady Elegance could have been anywhere tonight. She could have been anywhere, doing anything. First of all, with a name like Lady Elegance, you know she got options. But what's she doing with her time? She hanging out with us. That's right, people. You and me. So being the first one up, we gave her the shout out. Thank you, Lady Elegance. But back to what I was saying. You need haters and doubters and underestimators and non-believers and all of the above. You need them in your life in order for you to excel. You do. If everybody that you know or had in your space was a real supporter, if everybody you had around you was a real supporter, it would be hard for you to get your proverbial car in gear every day and go out and be your best. Because when stuff go right too long, it causes some of us to slow down because we get in neutral. Let me see who else on the show. Oh, y'all, it's Detective Pamela Black. What's going on? Glad to see you on the show. There go my mama. Hey, mama. James Key, what's going on? Glad to see you on the show tonight. And so I want y'all to keep these things that I'm telling you in perspective, because I had a conversation. Y'all know I be counseling and everything. And I had a conversation with somebody who felt felt some kind of way because they weren't receiving both the credit for the real work that they do, and because it was some undertone of hate coming from around them in their camp. And I got to thinking as I was talking to them and realizing the impact of haters around you. And some people will tell you, oh, when you got them haters, you need to get some different people around you. They go, y'all girl, Nikki Carter. What's up, Nikki Carter? Glad to see you. You took off last week. That's why we was up here going off on the people. And they had no defense because you wasn't around. But I got to thinking, when people tell you, oh, if you got anybody who ain't on your team, get them out your life. No, don't get them out your life. Identify them and keep them in your life. Because you need somebody to motivate you to do better than what you already doing. Let me say it again. Don't kick haters out your life. You need the haters to help motivate you. Okay? Hold on for a second. Why are we not talking about the real topic for tonight? What's the real topic, Nikki Carter? What topic you want to talk about? We're going to get there. Maybe if you had been here last week. First of all, Nikki Carter, I run this show. I'm tired of you deboing in and trying to tell me what to do. I run this. It's called the Sinclair Show, not the Nikki Carter and Sinclair Show. How about that, Nikki Carter? But anyway, let's get back to talking about these haters. We're going to get on point tonight, but I'm saying this for the person and people. Oh, we got a new one out here, Miss Deborah L. Sims. Glad to see you on the show. Ain't nothing like a winner coming in. Oh, Nikki, we gonna talk about Trump. Why? Slow down. He gonna still be around. Corey Parks, what's going on, big dog? Glad to see you on the show. And so, before we get to talking about that hater and Nikki Carter, which she probably a hater too, I wanna run this to you all. See, because as a counselor, when you look somebody in the eye and you are talking to them about the things going on in their life, and you're trying to help them find the bridge to some level of emotional success, you got to look at somebody and you got to look at the situations and say to yourself, hold on. Why do you want to get rid of them haters? See, your team can't always motivate you, because they're pro you. So you can almost guarantee what most of them gonna say. You need somebody, a hater in your camp. It's not a bad thing unless you don't know that they hating on you. If you know that there's somebody in the midst of your camp, if you know that where you work at or where you frequent or the place you go smoke your cigars or the place that you hang out at in whatever capacity, if you know it's a couple of folks in there that really don't like you, good. Don't dispatch them, because those are the ones that's going to tell you about your exterior self. A hater is always going to find something wrong with what you're doing. And if you smart, you'll try to step that game up in that area. I don't even mind haters no more. Now, some of y'all ain't going to like that I'm saying it, because some of y'all are haters that I am exposing, and you ain't going to know who dealing with you for what reason. But that's a different story for a different day. But I want you all who have allowed haters to cause you to be depressed, haters to cause you to doubt yourself, haters that caused you to go left when you should have went right, that done got you too much in your feelings. Learn to manage your haters. Uh-oh, y'all. There go your boy Jay Dizzle. What's up, Johnny? Glad you on the show tonight. Big Rod popping in on us. And I'm saying these things. Oh, look at the new girl in town. She said, right. Good God prepares the table for us in the presence of our enemies. You need him. She's absolutely right. Look at Deborah quoting my CEO and Savior. Ain't that something? See, some of y'all don't even know the good word. But that's why I want you to keep haters in your camp, people. Because they serve a motivational purpose. They help you retain your presence. Because what happens is the folks that really got your back, they always looking for the best in you. But them haters will point out the worst of you and give you an idea on what you need to fix potentially about yourself. A hater will make you get up at 5 a.m. and prepare yourself for the day's activities. JC, what's going on, girl? Glad to see you on the show. And I'm saying all this to you because I want you to be prepared for the emotional combat you may face when you out here in the real world. Stop giving haters control over your life and use them as the fuel to reach the next level of your success. Haters will be saying stuff to you like, you ain't doing nothing but brown nosing. That's how you got where you at. Does it really matter how you got to where you are, as long as when you got there, you stepped your game up enough to stay there? Some of y'all ain't gonna understand that until tomorrow. Don't worry about somebody talking about, oh, she thinks she look like this with all of that fake this, and that. Hit the brakes on them. Because the truth is, whatever it takes for you to enhance yourself, to feel good about yourself, to get up and get out here and be amongst the people, do you. As long as you know what the uncovered you looks like on the inside, you should rock with it. It's no different than me putting on a hat, some shades, or anything else. Sometimes people gonna worry about the wrong thing in your life. If them eyelashes or the hair or the body wraps or the new car or whatever dudes do to uplift themselves, if those things help motivate you to stay in the race, who cares what they think? Because it be people who don't be motivated, who don't stretch themselves to the next level, that's always hating on folks that do. Y'all not getting this because it feels a certain way to you. Anybody, and there's some folks on the show, I ain't gonna put them on the spot, because it's some folks that be on the Sinclair show that's straight winning in life. Speaking of a winner, what's up, Cassandra? Glad to see you on the show tonight. It's folks that's winning, and everybody I know that's winning or has won in their life got haters talking about how they got there. And you know what the funny part about it is? It be the laziest jokers in the world telling you that somebody gave you a free opportunity. It's not a free opportunity if you get up, go to work every day. Half of the people that's hating on you can't wait to punch the clock. Half of the people that's hating on you don't put the work in you do. When you was out there in school earning your degree, they was playing video games and tiddling around on TikTok. So when you got to the next level, ain't nobody give it to you. You put that work in. You should be proud of it. But keep the haters around. I want y'all to start being proud of the person that's in the mirror for whatever that person is. You deserve to be exactly what you are today, no matter if you haven't reached it or have. You are the sum of your efforts. I know Nikki ain't still rapping, talking about let's wrap it up. You know what, Nikki Carter? I'm going to go and let you talk about your boy. Because that's all you want to do. Because Nikki Carter, we know you somebody's hater. I don't know who, but you feel like you got hate in you. I remember a few years back, Nikki Carter, we was going to put you off the show. But I showed grace and mercy and let you stay. All right? Anyway, so that y'all could go on. Big Rod said, be ready so you don't have to get ready. Let the church say amen. And see, that's why somebody like Nikki Carter, this stuff burned a little bit. Y'all seen them movies when you was growing up with the vampires and when you had the little garlic around your neck or whatever, or you showed the cross, the vampire get the, when the sunlight hit them, they get a, that's how Nikki Carter do. Because that's that hate. But for all my people who out here trying, even if you ain't reached the plateau that you want to, keep trying. It's about that. Because I'm promising you that some of y'all done reached so many more levels than what anybody ever thought you was anyway. You a winner. Matter of fact, I promise you on the Sinclair show tonight, you a winner, even if you hating Nikki. But let's talk about the first topic tonight. Y'all boy, Donald Trump. To all my Republican homies, James said, Nikki Carter is president of the Pitchfork Club. She certainly got her credentials in hate. She's a hateologist. Anyway, what's up with y'all boy, Donald Trump? To all the Republicans out here, listen, I know y'all are either thankful or y'all are embarrassed at this foolishness going on. Now, we're going to dissect something for a minute. And I'm going to say some things initially because I got to get them out of the way so that y'all understand where I'm coming from. First and foremost, we don't wish any ill will on anybody, regardless of whether or not they have a different personal or political view from us. And in the event that this was a real action, then let me say this. We are thankful that Donald Trump is still with us today. If this was a real action, then our condolences go out to the other person who was injured or the other one killed at the rally. And there is no place for homegrown terrorism to take place in America. Even Donald Trump has a right to be out here acting the fool based on our core values in America. So in the event that it was as real as they would like for you all to believe, then understand something, people in America. That's not how we get down. We defeat people at the ballot box, not by cowardly acts. All right? Now that I done got that out the way, look at all these people say it was staged. Nikki Carter said, ain't no AR-15 gonna graze anyone. That ear would be gone. Hater. Okay. Now, let me begin by saying this. Tonight, we're going to examine facts because I have my own opinion, but we're going to talk about the facts, and I'm going to let you, the public, have some comments as well and strike the type of conversation that will make us dissect this further. First and foremost, those of you who are my military brothers and sisters who are on this platform tonight, be you up here on YouTube or Facebook or X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, there are certain facts that most military personnel, such as myself and others, are going to find curious. Now, Look at that. Lady Elegant says she might be elegant, but she army strong. She don't play about that. That's my homegirl right there. Fact number one. Anyone who served in the military, specifically in this case in the Army, Air Force, Marines, Navy, went to basic training. And when you go to basic training, you don't turn into a specialist in a particular area until after you have been prepared for combat. And in your preparation for combat, you spend some time learning to fire weapons. One such weapon is the AR-15. Okay? Some of y'all might have had one called something else. Oh, Lord, JC talking about don't forget the Coast Guard. And I'm not ever going to be talking about no Space Force. That fool Donald Trump came up with Space Force. I'm not going to acknowledge Space Force. If you're somewhere right now wearing a Space Force uniform, hey, that's on you. I'm just not rocking with it. I'm from the old school military. I'm not with all of that Space Force, because if you ain't going into space fighting, then I ain't trying to hear it right now. Let's not get sidetracked. While you are in basic training, you are prepared to fire weapons, one of those being assault rifles. And those of you who are basic training certified can attest to the following things. You learn to shoot targets. Some of y'all who was back in the day with me remember the pop-up targets. And you shot 25, 50, 75, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300 yards away. Anybody remember those days? And if your skill set reached a certain level, you were labeled with a pendant that said you could be a marksman, a sharpshooter. You had different levels of things. All right. Chris Parks, what's going on, big guy? Now, it was a badge of honor that you were out there trying to reach the highest level of proficiency with your weapon. Why am I telling you lay people this? I'm telling you all this for some reasons. First and foremost, as it relates to understanding the way that a weapon fires, the way that rounds travel, the distance that they travel, it is alleged that this perpetrator, this 20-year-old, and to be clear, his age has no relevance on his skill set. I know some teenagers that can outshoot grown folks because they put the work in. But there are some truths that we cannot deny. Truth number one. You can fire a weapon and it can hit a target greater than 300 yards depending on the weapon. A AR-15 in the hands of a soldier fresh out of basic training, 300 yards is nothing to accomplish. I would dare to say every person that went to basic training, certainly in the Army, has hit a 300-yard target at least once or twice in their life. Can I get some support on that? Why is that important? is because you learn certain things about the way you fire a weapon. Well, some of y'all gonna say, well, Sinclair, everybody ain't been in the military. Absolutely right. Let's talk about hunters. I like to hunt. A hunter, regardless to whether you are out to get big game, small game, whatever your thing is, a hunter can tell based on his weapon, whether you are shooting a long-range rifle, a bolt-action rifle, it doesn't matter. You begin to learn about your weapon and how to aim your weapon. And matter of fact, the first thing you will learn when you start to hunt or shoot at targets is what to do and what not to do. So we're talking about right now, what is a likely shot that a person would take? Now, I'm going to be clear with you. It is possible that this guy did everything they said he did the way they said he did it. But it's just not probable. It's not probable because nobody, whether you're a hunter or whether you're a prior military, if you've got any experience at all, you would have made your mind up before you got on top of that roof. This young man is alleged to have climbed onto the roof that inside the building, it was police officers being staged. First and foremost, makes no sense at all. Big Rod said, wind aiming up and down, and it depends on the distance, the curvature of the earth will play a role in shooting. Absolutely it will. Annie Moore, what's going on, girl? Glad to see you. The problem, people, is he was only shooting from 500 feet away. This young man climbed onto a building occupied by police officers, laid on top of the building. People with cameras is shouting, there's a guy on top of the roof. He is 500 feet away. Let me go ahead and break this down to you all. When I told you when you're in the military, you shoot 25, 50, 75, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300 yards. A National League football field is 100 yards. Not feet. It's 100 yards. So people in the military easily hit targets 2 NFL football fields, and some of us, we can surpass easily 3. Nicky Carter said, make no sense at all. Look at Essie Shepherd. What's going on with my armor bearer? Glad to see you tonight. And I want y'all to process this. 500 feet is nothing. Nothing. A regular person with 5 hours of training can hit something at 500 feet with a rifle. But the first thing you learn is when you're going to take a shot like that, you're never aiming at somebody's head. Now, I know there's going to be some people that say, well, maybe he wasn't aiming for the head. Maybe his weapon wasn't zeroed in properly. They're going to say all these other factors. You don't climb on top of a roof or in a stand or any place to take that shot if you don't think you can make it. Let's begin with that. No person that hunts, has prior military experience, even the ones that play a video game, you're not going to take that risk in an open space. This young man could have been in the field away from them. He's on a rooftop of a building full of police with people saying there he is, he's only 500 feet. 500 feet, 550 steps, if you will, away from where the former president was. James said he supposedly scoped it out prior. Big Rod said he was on a hot metal roof at that. Absolutely. And this young man, only 550 human being steps away from the former president, decides to take a shot with a long-range rifle that he grazes the ear, allegedly, of the president. And he wants to say, how in the world did the police not see him? Well, we know the police had seen him because it is alleged that they had conversation with him. As a matter of fact, prior to him shooting and pulling the trigger, it is alleged that a law enforcement official had went onto the back of the roof. He turned around with the gun, and the guy said he lost his grip and fell off the roof. I don't care what the scenario. The Secret Service are better trained than that. This guy was not outside of the perimeter. This guy was 550 human being steps away from the former president. And he takes a shot. Okay? If you go back and look at the video, there are strange things that occur. The former president says, if you want to see something, and when he says, if you want to see something, he looks over, and that's when the guy pulls the trigger. Go look at the video. I have looked at that video 15 or more times. Now, I'm not saying he could have been signaling, but it was a strange thing to say. If you want to see something, right before the guy pulls the trigger. But at 550 steps, an amateur shooting at center mass, if he was shooting center mass, he got off 5 to 7 shots. Nobody climbs on a roof to take this type of action if they don't know that they can make that type of shot. And it's not a hard shot. To put this in context, those of you who have spent some time with me, sometimes people come down to the country and we go out and we do some target practice. They can verify I've got nearly 30 weapons. And I have a specific rifle that is capable of shooting 1,800 yards. It is a sniper rifle. That rifle can 1,800 yards is 18 football fields. Now, I would never take that type of shot because if you're not in a place where you know you can clear or the round will be stopped by some object, you wouldn't take that kind of risk because you don't want to hit anybody. Big Rod said his classmate said he was a terrible shot. That may be true. He's still capable of taking that shot. You can't tell me the sniper didn't see him. James said he could have never grazed his ear from that angle. The math ain't mathing. And I want y'all to understand, Nikki Carter said, let her come to the ranch. Nikki Carter, come on to the ranch. We're going to let you fire off some weapons out here. And I'm saying these things because I want you guys to comprehend that while we can't say what we visually saw was staged or wasn't true, here's what I'm telling you. It does not make common sense. Yes, his classmates can say he's a terrible shot. A terrible shot does not climb on that building with that weapon determined that he's going. And let me say this to clear up a myth. If his classmates say he was a terrible shot, they're a lie. Because this man on the first round that fired grazed the former president's ear allegedly. If he on the first shot grazed the president's ear, he was not a terrible shot. But you can best believe that it is no way possible that a person that can graze the former president's ear on the first shot took 5 to 7 additional shots and didn't hit him. I'm just saying. 500 feet, people. 500 feet. And when he shot the allegedly shot the former president, former president grabbed his ear. If you look, when he slow the video down, when he brings his hand down initially, there is no blood on his hands. I've slowed the video down. We don't see any blood until after they tackle the former president. And once they lift him up, he's got blood on his ear. Johnny said, first reports by Secret Service reported he was cut by glass from the teleprompter. Very well possible. I believe that. I believe that those first reports are probably true. Because it didn't make sense when you see. Go back and look at the video for yourself. He says, if you want to see something, the shot rings out. He puts his hand to his ear. He pulls it down. There is no blood on his hand, clearly. He stands there for a few seconds. They came. They got him to the ground. He gets up. And unlike any other human being on the planet, instead of wanting to get up out of there, he's worried about his shoe and he wants to put his fist up in the air. Big Rod said, I don't understand how you take a headshot and hit his ear. It's very difficult. That's why I don't believe he was hit by a bullet. But I want you to understand, people, I am simply giving you what my personal knowledge of weapons, and I can say this with a level of seriousness. I am probably better than 50% of America when it comes to weapons, but I have a different affinity for weapons. I like weapons. And there are some things that will and won't happen when you're familiar with the weapon. I'm just saying. You are not going to take that risk unless you have a death wish. You're not going to try that from 500 feet. Listen, you can hit a person if you know what you're doing. You can hit a person with a handgun from 500 feet. So what would make him think he could lay on that roof with Secret Service, take that shot, miss, or whatever, unless he was trying to? I'm not buying it. Now, that doesn't say that this person wasn't trying to be a martyr. He wasn't trying to take one from the team for the team. I don't know. I have no proof of that. Nikki Carter said it's been pretty quiet in MAGA world since it happened. But I want you guys to process this. I want you to go back and watch it. I don't want you to just take somebody's word. I don't personally know if it's true or not, and neither do you. I can just tell you, as a person who spends a significant amount of time with weapons and firing them, I can tell you it doesn't make practical sense that a person would climb on the roof from 550 human steps, 500 feet away, and would take that risk get off at least 5 shots, I'm just not buying it. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Jay Dizzle said MAGA world can't believe it either. And I can also say this, as being a person who has been shot at before. Even if you know it's going to happen, you don't get up from somebody shooting at you and decide you want to put your fist up in the air. He didn't have any fear of anything happening to him. That's the problem for me. I want you to think about what I just said. Anybody who has ever been in any level of combat, there are some things you know to be true. If you have ever shot on a range before with other people, when those people start firing that gun, your senses are on high alert. If somebody's ever shot at you before, when you hear a weapon go off, you are not going to get up and be talking about move back, I want to put my fist in the air. You're trying to duck down behind any cover, especially if you don't have a weapon to return fire. So that, oh, I'm so tough that I'm going to stand up and pump my fist in the air, it's because, in my opinion, he had no fear of being hit. I'm just saying. Now, some of you all are going to say, oh, this is just conspiracy theory. And you would be right. I am a conspiracy theorist, but I am one who has experienced enough things in my life to tell you what a human being naturally does. James said, get low and fast. Nikki Carter said, no one person ran. Annie Moore said, the people didn't even scatter. JC says, unless you praising the Lord. Hey, listen, I'm keeping this a stack with you all. I didn't see anybody leave. You're not going to tell me that this makes practical sense. I don't care how much you love Donald Trump. You could be the staunchest friend of him that you can be. When people start firing weapons, folks get missing. And in this alleged case, you had the alleged gunman shooting 5 shots. You got people pointing at him on the roof. You got the Secret Service who allegedly at some point took a headshot and killed them. You're telling me nobody was running? Come on. Come on, white America. No. My Anglo-Saxon brothers and sisters, I need y'all to stand up and say, even y'all ain't buying this. It's not enough that I'm not buying what Donald Trump didn't do. He up pumping his fist in the air after somebody just shot at you 5 times. That ain't happening. But I'm not buying the response of the audience. And I know that some of you all are braver than others, but nobody's that brave to see somebody shoot 5 times, to see somebody else shooting at it. It's alleged bullets flying everywhere. Allegedly, there are at least 7 rounds that was fired. At least 5 by him, allegedly 2 by Secret Service or whoever. Come on, people. Nobody's ducking. Nobody's running. I even seen a brother looking like he don't know why he was there. He didn't even run. And this is what y'all want us to believe. And now the former president is walking around with daggone near an ace bandage on his ear. He's got the craziest looking patch on his ear. Come on now. I know a lot of medical people. That is not what they would have done to his ear. It's not. Not if it had been shot. And if all he had was a little scrape up there, they ain't gonna put no big square patch up there. But y'all don't want to rock with me. And I understand. Some of y'all are still processing, trying to make sense of the tomfoolery. But nobody ran. He pumping his fist. A dude is on a roof, 550 steps away, gets off 5 shots. Secret Service. Hold up. You know what? I ain't even going nowhere with you, Nikki Carter. Big Rod said the Las Vegas shooting is an example of how people take off running when the guy was shooting at them from the hotel. Absolutely, Big Rod. We talking about the human response. The only time people don't respond like that is if they have no fear. I'm keeping it a stack. That's the only time people do not move with haste to gain cover is when they don't believe that there is a real threat. I'm just saying. These are facts that we're talking about. People in the audience did not perceive a certain level of threat because they didn't try to go nowhere. You mean to tell me you're at a rally? James said, and that was with the music blasting. You mean to tell me you're at a rally with a former president and you see videoing a young man with a rifle on top of the roof of a building full of police officers, 500 feet away from a presidential candidate? Matter of fact, let's go back and take this a little bit further. I want to know, and I'm not trying to be funny, I'm being very sincere. I want to know, how is it that Donald Trump's homies, the supporters themselves, allowed this dude to get on top of the roof? I ain't even talking about the police. I'm not even talking about Secret Service. You got a 20-year-old white boy with a rifle 500 feet away from your candidate, and y'all sitting around with your cameras talking about, look, there it's a guy on the roof. He got a rifle. First of all, you saying that while not taking cover. If I see somebody on top of a roof with a rifle laying down like they about to do business, I am not videoing. Matter of fact, some of y'all gonna stop playing with them phones. Jay Dizzle said, and they watched him climb up on the roof with the weapon. People, all we discussing tonight is common sense issues. We going back to the basics. Even the people who saw the young man climbing on top of the roof, James, they did film him. I've seen the video. I've seen several angles with them video pointing out and telling folks, hey, look at the guy on the roof with the weapon. Those videos been playing all week. That's what I'm saying. That ain't even a natural behavior. If I see somebody at a presidential rally, matter of fact, if I see somebody anywhere climbing on top of the roof with a rifle, I'm not going to be out in the broad open space. I'm getting behind something, like behind the steering wheel, really, because I'm out. Big Rod said he had to get the weapon on the roof. Absolutely. But I want y'all to think about the mental concept of people. What would make a group of people see somebody getting on the roof with a long-range rifle and just be sitting around still, just taking pictures, videoing, and talking about it? James said he was dead 30 minutes prior. James, you're probably right. I don't care how long he was dead. I saw them videoing him, and they were talking out loud. Look at the guy up there on the rooftop with the rifle. What? And so my question to America is, if it was a threat, why wasn't anybody scared? That's just a question. I'm not judging, but that's a real question. How can you be in the vicinity of this young man? Nikki Carter said law enforcement response after being told about the guy on the roof doesn't make sense. You're right. It doesn't. Because I promise you, if they'd have said it's a black guy on the roof with a rifle, he wouldn't have got a shot off. And I want to know, Lady Elegance said, was the firefighter that got killed standing behind the orange man? You know what? I don't know from the angle, but this is what's gotten me puzzled. I am curious as to, even if they suspected, matter of fact, to my Anglo-Saxon brothers and sisters, can one of you, two of you, a few of you, can y'all reach out to me and let me know, from you all's perspective, why was there no fear amongst the supporters who by this point know that it's somebody with a weapon out there? Even after they fired the shots, people sitting around them and I can't believe it. What? Nikki Carter said the firefighter was collateral damage. In the eyes, potentially, of this process, yes. And again, our hearts go out to the firefighter that was, whose life was taken. And I'm not even certain, again, that there isn't a different story to be told about this entire thing. In my mind, a conspiracy theorist that I am, because remember, it is reported that this young man was a supporter of Donald Trump. He was all the way left. He was all chips in. So why would that type of person want to do something to hurt a candidate that he admired? Or one theory might be, Nikki Carter say they didn't fear a young white guy with a gun. Absolutely. But one theory might be, and again, we have no proof, that this was someone who bought into, could have had someone who was manipulating him mentally, saying, look, we need to do something drastic for the cause. We need somebody willing to lay down their life to move the agenda forward. I don't have any proof of that, nor does anybody out there yet anyway. But it is more likely in my mind that this young man would turn himself into a martyr for their cause, because we've seen that before. We've seen people put their own life in risk for the cause. James said, I never heard, I don't know what he was saying, he was standing. Oh, he said never heard where he was standing. He was on the roof. I've seen the videos with him climbing on the roof. I know he was laying on the roof. So I can tell you what I've personally seen in video. But there's a part of me that wonders. Lady Elegant said the shooter also donated $15 to the Democrats, but is a registered Republican. Interesting. Again, it is more likely in my conspiracy theorist mind that there is more to this story than what we understand. Because the actions that day don't add up to normal things we've seen of a similar nature. A person that's a Donald Trump supporter, before he goes and commits what could be a very, very heinous act, decides, oh, even though I'm a Republican, I'm going to donate to the Democratic Party so it'll be a record of it. And I'm going to go out here and I'm going to climb on a roof 500 feet away full of police, and I'm going to point a weapon in the direction of the president, and I'm going to fire some shots that I'm not going to hit, and I'm going to put myself in the line that the Secret Service, and it could have been that, hey, they could have told him, hey, go up there, we're going to take you, detain you, and you'll fly off into the sunset and people won't know what happened to you. It could have been anything. I simply don't, the puzzle pieces don't connect enough for me to accept what I've seen at face value. And I am the first to say, I have no proof that it didn't happen the way that he said. Big Rod said, there is a theory that a Secret Service agent wanted to take the shot as soon as he got on the roof, and he was told to stand down, and that agent was fired. Hey, I haven't heard that, but if it's true, again, people, we are putting the pieces together as Joe and Jane Public, but I need you guys to understand, when things too many pieces don't make sense, you and I are supposed to do like the good book said. We're supposed to study so we can rightly divide the word of truth. And sometimes to find out what is true, you can't take your eye off information. You must be willing to sit and put pieces together and watch video and watch the reaction of some and look at the common sense factor. Nikki Carter said, and the fact is fading from the news cycle. Tells me that it's more to it. Probably so. Or, Nikki Carter, it could tell you that the news media is saying it doesn't make sense. I'm not running with it, but I can promise you what will happen. For every set of dumb criminals, there are reporters who will track this down. The social media cycle will get to the bottom of this in the coming weeks, and we're going to find out whether or not this was an act of something more heinous, meaning something being staged to pull the wool over the American people and the sensitivity of our minds to move in a certain direction, or we're going to find out whether this was really something that was going on for a mentally disturbed person. We're going to get to the facts of it, but right now the facts ain't facting, and we got to figure it out. Look, people, I got to go. Y'all done sucked up all of my time. Nikki Carter done acted crazy tonight, but she came on back to her senses. Y'all be safe out here. Watch your surroundings. Do the right thing. And look here. Look out for your fellow man. All right? Don't just think about yourself. And keep your haters close to you because they motivate you.
It's about that time, baby. Oh, yeah. Here we go.